All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Double on Radio Gamescast. It's episode number 40. As always, I'm your host, Ryan, and I'm joined by my lovely cohort of co-hosts, Alex,
Hello.
Brett,
Hello.
Tess,
Hey.
and Wyatt.
Hello, hello.
And today we're doing something a little special. If you guys are listening right now, this episode does have a video portion available on the YouTube channel. It's just YouTube Double on Radio Gamescast. You can find it there. And we're going to be doing a fantasy games draft. So if you're familiar with fantasy football, it's the same concept. We are picking games that over the course of the year that are planned to release in 2021, and we will see who gets the most points at the end of the year based on the games they picked and their review scores. Of course, there's a bit more to it, but we'll go over that as it comes up. And yeah, so right now, I want to have us all introduce our publishing companies. Sound good? Sound like a plan, everyone?
Do it.
Woo,
Sure.
wow, that was such a ecstatic reaction.
I was waiting for someone to start.
The
All
patient award
right.
of some kind.
So we have the draft set up through fantasycritic.games, and I would encourage anyone interested in this kind of thing to check the site out. It's something that a lot of review sites also do these drafts. They're a lot of fun. So, my company, my publishing agency, I am the player Mega Match here, and my company is Revolver Physical, a company that's going to specialize in wonderful niche games. We've all tried to kind of theme our publishers a little bit, so we're not just hardcore going at trying to win this. It's more just for fun league. Though there will be something at the end that we do based on who's in what position. It will be a fun thing and not like a people owe the victor money thing. Great? Sound good?
Oh.
Wonderful.
That sounds fun to me. If I
We-
win.
We owe each other kneecaps instead.
Oh,
Oh my God.
No, we'll do a
Hey,
hardcore
Wyatt.
video game themed poetry slam.
Oh, I'm in.
Ooh,
Oh, all right.
All right. So,
ooh.
Brett, you're up next.
All right. Well, my company is known as Macro Hard, and actually every single employee that works for this publisher is a clone of me. So we will not be picking games that will actually, are good or bad. It's just games that all the clones of me and me like or think look cool. And we'll see where that brings us as a publisher. I think I have some pretty good judgment. Nothing's ever gone wrong in my life before, so why would it start now?
Of course. All right. Now we've got Wyatt.
I'm sorry.
So,
I was not expecting that at all.
we are VHS Assignment Blue. We make absolutely terrible games that run beautifully on your computer and your console. But we will be selecting very narrative heavy games that put a lot of focus on their story and the writing of their characters. So
All right, great. We have our next our resident wine mom Tess.
See, I don't have much to say. I think mine's pretty self-explanatory. Run by a bunch of wine moms.
any game where you can get plastered is gonna be us.
Candy Crush
Exactly. I mean, I'm basing my games off of games that I plan on playing because I'm selfish and I'm
Well,
not gonna.
I mean,
You
that's
are a
what
wine mom.
most of us are doing. The
Okay,
publishers is
'cause,
just a thinly veiled excuse for us to choose games we like instead of games that we think are going to score well.
Yeah, I'm not really doing it based off like, oh, I think that this game's gonna do well. I'm basing it off of like, oh, I'll play this game,
Yeah.
so
All right.
I'll pick it.
Next, we've got Alex.
Hi, I forgot the username and the publisher were different. So, both of them are Label LA. We specialize, and by that I mean my thinly veiled excuse, to pick that is hardcore RPGs, Japanese, American, or otherwise.
All right, great. You and I are going to get into some fights over here, I'm betting. So, with that settled, we can start the draft. So we've already started the draft button, but no games have been drafted yet. We are each going to be drafting 6 games now, with the opportunity to pick up 7 more over the course of the year through these little budget bidding dollars on the side here. But we will also be saying all of our things, so if you're not watching and you're just listening, we'll still go over all of our choices. You just won't have the list in front of you that the stream will have. But we're gonna get started. So for my first game, I'm picking something pretty predictable if you've listened to the podcast over the last while. So we're just gonna show the top available games, and I can find it in here. I don't think it's actually that far down the list.
So this is where it shows up when it's our turn, right?
Yeah. So when it's your
Okay.
turn, you just click on draft game in the bottom. We've never done this before, so there's gonna be some confusion as we get started
A lot
with
of
this.
questions. A lot of questions.
So
I should pull
first
the stream
game
up.
that I'm picking, of course, is Monster Hunter Rise.
Mm.
Big
No
Monster Hunter
surprises there.
fan, and of course, I'm confident this game will at least score a 70. So it won't. At least it won't lose me points.
Understandable.
I think that's the logic there. Which means it is now Macro Hearts Company. But while you're looking through your decision and figuring out how to draft, I'm gonna go over a bit of why I think Monster Hunter Rise specifically is a good pickup for my company. Monster Hunter Rise Switch is a great platform both for portable and console home play, and Monster Hunter is a franchise that has had success doing both. So I think bringing the quality of life stuff that came in the Monster Hunter world for PS4 and Xbox One to the Switch and the portable market, especially in Japan, it's going to see some hopefully good scores. So while it is a game I really like, I think we might see some high returns on Monster Hunter Rise.
I have faith.
Do you, Brett? So what are you picking?
I
And your
okay.
clones.
So
Your many clones.
me and my many clones have decided after a lot of
A lot of deliberation.
a lot of careful planning done in the last 15 seconds or so. That
So much deliberation.
or should I say 16 seconds, because our
Okay.
first pick, whether or not it comes out in the next 10 years, is going to be Final Fantasy 16. Because let me it's down there.
Oh,
Okay.
how could you, Brett?
Well, should have gone
Can
first,
we not choose
buddy.
the same games?
No,
Oh no, it's a draft, Tess.
it's a draft, yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, there goes our one.
I'm like sitting here with my small list of games, like, this is nice. I'll just look at the other ones later.
Never mind.
No, we're getting cutthroat here. We're stealing games
Yeah,
from each other. It's gonna be great.
We're going evil right off the bat.
My
Uh,
RPGs.
But I think expectations are a little more mild after the existence of Final Fantasy 15, the unfortunate existence of Final Fantasy 15.
Though 15 did review remarkably well.
For some
Considering
reason.
that it's Final Fantasy 15.
It's
It's because
yeah,
no
yeah.
one finished it in time for the reviews to go out. So
But I think they're showing a lot of things that people, including myself, who is new, but a lot of people who have been with Final Fantasy for a long time have wanted. Like, we're going back to a more fantasy setting. The combat looks really cool from what the trailer showed. The story looks like a really interesting play on past games, and it's if even 15 reviewed well, I have faith that a higher number will also result in a higher number.
that's solid logic.
Okay.
Solid logic all around. Means Wyatt, it's time for your first pick.
Yeah. So bit bold because we've barely seen anything of this game at all. But I'm picking it simply because I have a lot of faith in the studio, especially the man.
I think I know what you're picking.
Especially the man in charge. We are of course picking God of War Ragnarok. Because the first game is a masterpiece, and like I said before, I have a lot of faith in Santa Monica as a studio because they make consistently good work, and I'm just a huge fan of the man in charge. I think he knows what he's doing. So, yeah. Again, a bit risky because we've barely seen anything, but that's just how much faith I have. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, I think solid pick. The only question I would have is whether or not it actually comes out this year due to COVID delays, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. All right, Tess. Time for your first grab. You got it ready?
My
Prepared?
heart's yes. What do I click on?
Draft game on the left under player actions.
Player actions. Draft game. Okay. I'm pretty sure everyone knew I was gonna pick Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid someone was gonna say it, and I would have left the call. That's my game. I love the Resident Evil series. That's really all I have to say about it. So, yeah.
All right.
Looks
That's
like it's gonna
my
be cool
pick.
too.
Hey, those teasers were very nice. I don't know what else I was gonna put in there.
I'm beyond excited for this game. Not gonna lie, especially because they said it's gonna be more like 7.
I have a strong feeling that game's actually gonna release this year too. There were a couple games on here that I think are big questions, but that's one I feel pretty confident about. Now, Alex, you're in the hot seat because this is a snake draft. Now, does everyone here know what a snake draft is? And by saying that, I mean, does anyone here know what a snake draft is?
I know
Yes.
those two words are separately, but when you put them
Great.
together, I don't know what they
So
mean.
a snake
second that.
A
draft.
snake is a reptile, and a draft is a gust of wind.
A snake draft is a draft that, when you are drafting, reverses order after you go through. So because Alex is picking
Oh.
last right now in our first row, that means, Alex, you will get to pick 2 games in a row.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, here we go.
All right, I'm leaving. This is BS. I'm leaving.
It's time to duel.
So, what is your first pick, Alex?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, Ryan. My first pick is Horizons Forbidden West.
All right, all right.
How dare you?
AKA Monster Hunter with robots.
Yep, exactly. Oh, because
Don't you mean Dinosaur Hunter?
I meant what I said, Wyatt. The Monster Hunter with robots.
I know, I
Dinosaur
was
Hunter
trying
is just
for a joke
Monster
and it
Hunter
didn't
with
work.
dinosaurs.
I tried for a joke and it didn't work. Haha.
I
made
mean-
a bad joke. Let's move on. Okay.
Okay. I was about to spoil the first game. I'll try to prevent.
Don't
I'll
do
try to
that.
avoid that.
Don't do that.
But think of it this way: you were just in this cold, snowy landscape. The first one. Here you get to be on
Oh my
beaches and
God.
you're romping around the world.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I mean, that sold me.
And
Yep.
robotic pterodactyl. I mean, come on.
I mean, who wouldn't be down for that?
That's like a 10 out of 10 right there. I think Alex just won.
10
I
out of
can't
10.
remember. I know there was a turtle. I don't know if it was a real turtle or a robo turtle, but either way, I'm down because it's a turtle. Robo or otherwise, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Alex.
Wh-
So, what is your second game?
Where is
That is
Oh,
a great pick, Alex. I think you'll certainly be satisfied with the scores of Huppa to
Two,
Duppa.
Alex, how dare you? How dare you?
I'm so confused.
I'm going a little out of the way for this one. I'm looking on page 3 already, but I'm going for Hogwarts Legacy.
No!
It begins.
Now she leaves the call.
Oh my God, I'm the
dear.
biggest Harry Potter. You just created an enemy.
And
I do
that's
not
why
believe
I
that
picked
game's
it.
coming out this year.
No.
Well, it's okay. You can still pick it. It might. You
Yeah.
just might have to pick
Yeah.
something else in
I
the
mean-
event that it doesn't.
Tess said it. Who isn't a Harry Potter fan of
Me.
some degree?
Some salty people out there that doesn't
Brett,
know
all
what
of you
good
and your
things
clones
are.
can go die.
We might.
We
Oh,
hate
no.
We hate your company.
Well, Tess,
I mean,
that
like,
means it's your opportunity now.
there is so much. I mean, not just oh my God, what's that word? Nostalgia. There's so much nostalgia factor for Harry
I want to
Potter.
hear it.
You don't. Oh, really? Well, allow me to go on then. There's so much nostalgia factor. There's very little that has to do with like real magic these days in a lot of video games. You don't see that a lot often, I believe, and that's why I believe that Hogwarts Legacy, which is taking place in the 1800s or 1980s, was it? It's one of those two. But it's it's a time period where you don't have to worry about Dumbledore, the recent bad movies, in my opinion, or Harry Potter or Voldemort or any of that stuff. You get to deal with brand new storylines and things. So it's a wide open world of possibility in that game.
All right, Tess,
Too long.
you made your second choice. Why don't you tell us what it is?
The Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes, because I love Until Dawn, even though it's technically not the same. It's the same type of game. I mean, I haven't played Little Hope yet, but I'm hoping that it's pretty good. Man of Medan was trash. but
Maybe they'll figure it out by now.
Are you just hoping a little bit?
I'm hoping a little bit. Little Hope doesn't have bad reviews. Man of Medan, I just don't think that they knew what they were doing.
Oh, they didn't at all.
But I have hope. I have hope for House of Ashes, and Ashley Tisdale's gonna be in it, so that's kind of cool.
Ooh,
Yeah,
cool.
That's an interesting pickup.
That is an interesting pick. I didn't even know that. I just looked up the game now and saw Ashley Tisdale's face. I was like, nice.
It's been a while since I've had the ability to add to my Sweet Life of Zack and Cody fanfiction. I didn't know where that sentence was going.
I think you did. I think you had full
Sometimes
knowledge.
we just shouldn't talk, and these are one of those times.
All right. So Wyatt, you got your pick for us, and I am gonna say now, try not to hit the actual draft button until you say what it is, so we actually have some suspense.
Okay.
You guys are revealing your picks early.
I
You
thought
gotta
that's what we were
hold up.
doing because Wine
Very
Mom's
cool.
over here did before she announced. So I just thought that's what we were doing. So
Very
Well,
very
Wyatt,
nice
very
pick,
very
Wyatt.
sheeple of
I
you.
will never I will never ever
Sheeple.
I will never ever copy off of the test from the worst student in class. So I will.
Wow.
Oh, I felt pain over here.
My next game is.
Did you just wait till we get back to school?
I'm gonna tell my mommy on you. All
She'll
right, so
probably be on my side for how rude you are.
yeah, knowing my mom probably. Anyway, so my next game. My next game is Oddworld Soulstorm. Because again, the studio has a very good track record. Oddworld always produces some wacky, crazy, weird stories, and they always seem to hit it out of the park in at least the areas where it counts. So, and what they've shown off so far has looked pretty exciting and pretty what fans want from the series. So, I'm hopeful.
All right. That's pretty bold of you, I'd say.
Yeah.
Especially because it seems like right now you're just picking the Sony PS5 reveal games.
Ooh.
I that wasn't even the
Ooh.
back of my mind, but yeah, that's kind of what's
VHS
happening
assessment
right now.
blue.
All right.
Hey, we're called Blue for a reason. Okay, Team Blue.
There's
Team.
Sony offshoot.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll be able
Macro
to
hard.
make it better.
Brett, what do
console.
you and your clones have for us today?
Well, I know I want it. I know a couple guys downstairs want it, and I know even guys in the mailroom want it. Probably because they're all the same person. I love Heart Machine because of their one game that they made that was really good. So I think Solar Ash is going to be pretty sick. It literally just looks like 3D Hyper Light Drifter, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm 100% in.
I forgot Solar Ash was planned to be releasing this year.
Yeah, hopefully it actually comes out. 'cause I
Hopefully
want
it
to
does.
play it
Yeah. That's
for
a
a while.
interesting pick. And to confirm for people listening, that is the studio that made Hyper Light Drifter.
Yes.
So it is their not quite follow up, but their next game.
Very swanky of you.
The very cool visual style. All right. So we've got two rapid fire picks up here because
Ooh.
I know that probably no one else here wanted either one of these games. But Revolver Physical sticks to their guns and they make choices. All right, and we
they?
strive. We Guilty Gear strive
Oh boy.
for only the best on our roster here.
You should
Oh,
feel guilty,
man.
Gear, for saying that.
How could you?
That pun
Oh,
happened
wow.
in the moment.
Oh.
Look, Guilty Gear Strive, they've been showing some spicy trailers lately. And I think it's pretty likely that this game does come out this year. I don't think Arc System is really behind on this. Because I have a feeling a lot of what they're showing has probably already been completed for a while. So I think the game's going to reliably come out when it says it's going to come out, which is this year. And I'm looking forward to it. They've been on a hot streak lately with fighting games, and I think that's definitely up there in the list of what I would have. Now, for our next game, of course, we're sticking with the theme. You know, some people might say that this last year, 2020, has been a pretty strange time, a little bit apocalyptic. You could say the world was maybe ending and possibly a little bit with you.
Oh my
So-
god.
Neo, even, would you say?
Well, now 2021, Neo, The World Ends With You is the next game
Ugh.
we're taking. Now,
Wow.
I
Another
don't know if
Keanu
this game's
Reeves
going to
game.
come out this year. I really hope it does. I am
Oh.
striving that Neo The World Ends With You will rise this year above the competition. No one caught that. Great.
I hate you so much.
Yeah, that's my picks. For those of
You
you
should
who
feel
don't know, because I
guilty
haven't
for
really
that.
talked about it here. Yeah, I do feel guilty. But hey, we strive for guilt and gears. But yeah, The World Ends With You is one of my favorite old Square Enix weird RPGs that has ever come out. The original DS version is mind-blowing, so I'm really hoping they can recapture some of that magic here. I don't know if they will. I'm not sure if I have enough faith in current Squeenix to do it. But at least the trailers they've shown, the gameplay looks really solid, and I really hope it does release this year.
I'm sorry, that's the first time I've heard it called Squeenix, and I love it.
Yeah, good old Squeenix.
I hate it, to be honest with you. It's
pretty cool.
gross.
You
It's
squeamish as
it's
Squeenix?
gross.
All right, Burrito
Well-
Francis, what have you got for us?
All right. Well, you know what they say: near, far, replicant version 1.22474487139. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played the original version, but that music is so good that just to hear it again, but remastered, reorchestrated, that's it's gonna be awesome. And from what I've seen of the gameplay, it looks like it literally just it's what a remake should be, just a better version of the old version. And it's coming out soon, so we'll be able to find out.
Is it coming out soon? Are you
It is
sure?
coming. It actually has a date. The only thing
Oh.
on my list that has a date.
Oh,
Impressive.
wow.
Pretty incredible, I know. I don't want to brag or anything, but pretty proud of that.
All right.
It's near to coming out.
You could say
Die.
that. All right, Wyatt. Walk us through your next choice.
Well, I was gonna pick one, but then it said it was ineligible. So,
Well, what would have been your choice?
well, I was gonna go on this long spiel, being like, we here at VHS Assignment Blue, sometimes believe that you got to go with what you know, and we were gonna pick the Mass Effect trilogy.
That is just a remaster. There was
Right.
nothing new there. So
Right. That's kind of what we're saying. You gotta go with what you know. They're good stories, and we know that.
and we have specifically banned going with what you know in this draft league for that
have.
reason.
we have, which I had forgotten about until just now. So now I'm gonna try and buy some time while I look for another game.
Care to wager one of those $100 to buy some more time? Wyatt?
You know, sitting here, I'm definitely considering that.
Yeah.
I'm on the spot. This is really scary.
Yeah.
You can do it. I believe you can find a game in the many games that we have estimated release dates
There's
for.
a lot of them. There's just ones that like we know almost nothing about, or at least I know almost nothing about. And
What about unannounced Mass Effect sequel?
well, we here VHS Assignment Blue.
You're welcome.
Love BioWare, and everything they make. Every single
Everything.
product, every single product they make is always, you know, a masterpiece in its own way. So, but unfortunately,
I mean, if you could, you'd become Kirby and eat them, and then just become them.
but unfortunately, we are not going to go with our boys this time around, with our boys and girls, just because, you know, it would be a more controversial pick. So for us, we decided to go with Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
Good pickup. Good pickup, I think.
Because the first game was great. We really trust the studio. And who the heck doesn't like Hellblade? so yeah. And also we're
Solid
just jealous
logic.
because we'll never ever make a game as good as Hellblade. So, you know.
Wow, that was a
besides
depressing
God of War
end note.
Ragnarok, am I right? Am I right?
All right, Tess, what you got cooking for us in your
Um,
horror-themed kitchen?
Yeah, I noticed that, right?
Ah,
um,
theme.
well, I love horror games, so I have Little Nightmares 2. Because I adored the first game. It was not scary, but very, very creepy, very odd. And I loved the style for it. And I didn't even know they were coming out with the second one until I looked at the list and I got really excited. So, yeah, that's my choice. That's all I'm gonna say. Short and sweet.
And also, the last Little
Understand.
Nightmares was really, really phenomenal for like
Yeah,
an indie horror game.
It was great. I loved it. I don't like the way that the people looked. Kind of grossed me out.
I am also
freaked me out.
90% certain that game's on Game Pass, so if you haven't tried it, definitely try it out
So
for those
good.
listening.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I really love horror games, so I guess it makes sense that it's all coming out like this.
I mean, that's the theme with the publishers. We got to go with what we like. Like you can see, I've just got a bunch of weird Japanese games in here. All right, that means Alex, snake draft style. You've got 2 picks waiting for us.
Alrighty. Well,
2 spicy picks. What's your first?
Pick another game that starts with an H, I dare you.
I think I will, Brett.
Oh, will you?
I like to think Alex just looked at his list of games that he wants to draft and just like moved one up
Yeah.
before.
Funny you should say that, because yes, my first of my next 2 picks, the Hollow Knight sequel, Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Oh, you.
All right.
You
All right.
curmudgeon. You curmudgeon. You bug, even.
Scoundrel, some might call me.
All right. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to argue against that.
Because,
That is
I
a solid
mean,
pick.
it is one of the best, like, just side-scrolling 2D games that I have played in a very long time. And Brett, you turned me on to it. Not in that way. The art is beautiful. Let's see. Oh, what was my second pick? Where was it?
I believe in you, Alex. I think you can definitely find your final H pick for this round.
I've lost it in this sea of black and gray. I really am just going for all H games. All right, Hitman 3.
All right.
That's not
There
an
you
RPG.
I don't know. Hitman games are pretty close in a lot of ways.
You do play just one character. My reasoning for that is you just play one character. It's not a
Okay.
multiple character thingy. But
You also level up.
Yeah.
You got some RPG trappings in Hitman now. It's a good series.
It really has gotten that way, hasn't it?
Yeah, the recent games especially are pretty great, aside from like the always online stuff. But the games themselves have some really, really cool hunting mechanics.
I've played I've definitely watched people play a lot more than I've played Hitman 2 especially. but there's a lot of I'd say there's a lot of originality and fun just in the levels and the missions that people come up with for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
my gallery of H's.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. That means Tess, it's back to you for your next pickup.
All right. Hold on, I have to reload. Okay. Oops, I clicked on watch list.
I hope
What?
it's as exciting as the last 3.
Oh, it's another horror.
Oh.
Evil Dead, the
Ooh.
game.
Ooh.
I forgot that was a thing.
I forgot that was releasing this year.
Yo.
I didn't know that was a game either until just now, and I found out it was a co-op
Respect.
shooter horror game, and I think
Respect.
that's really cool.
Hold on. Are you picking this and you haven't even seen the Evil Dead movies?
I've not seen the Evil Dead movies. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's on my list. I definitely want to. I'm just like really weird when it comes to blood.
Oh my god. Oh,
Listen,
then
it
no,
takes
no, no,
it
no.
takes
If
me
you
a
have
lot
a
of.
weird thing with if you have a weird thing, then I totally understand.
What's
It's
that one that George Romero and Stephen King worked on? Like the little short film movie.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name
You know
of
what I'm
it.
talking about? Yeah, I
Huh.
just recently got myself to watch that. I'm like, well, since I'm in criminal justice and I work with that stuff, I'm like trying to give myself like a little bit better when it comes to like blood and stuff.
The
So
good
I'm
old
like,
gore.
yeah, I have to like
Is that what GOG stands for?
creep
Good old
show.
gore.
Creep show.
Core.
Creep show is what I
Oh, yeah.
watched. So yeah, but even then, I just really think that a co-op horror game just sounds really cool. I mean, I know that there's oh my god, why can't I think of what it's called? That other
Friday
the one
the
that's
13th.
out right now. No, what? No.
Not Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
Oh,
There's
okay.
that, which is semi thing. I don't know. I just think a
well, then, yeah, Friday the
co-op
13th
game.
would be a good
Yeah, a co-op game
comparison.
based off of like a really popular horror series from like really really long ago
Mm-hmm.
is really cool. And
You would
Evil
think
Dead's
so.
very popular.
Yeah.
So, and it looks really cool. I just watched the trailer.
Especially because Dead by Daylight has Evil Dead characters in it, which is kind of
Oh, that's
funny.
also that's pretty cool.
They have Ash. Anyway, but I have made my next pick. This may be kind of interesting, so I'll have to explain it a little bit. My next pick is Returnal.
Oh
And I picked that because
God!
outside of me being really interested in it in general, after playing Hades, which it seems like Returnal will share a lot of similarities in the fact that it seems like it's going more of a roguelike slant, and I also feel like uh, personally, it feels like it's trying to go for some kind of narrative, just
Yeah,
based
it
off of
definitely
the
seems that way.
trailers. I'm really interested to see how they handle the narrative for a roguelike type of game, and I think it could do some really interesting things
It's also a female
with it.
character.
Yes.
Yeah, especially for roguelikes, that's pretty uncommon.
Yeah.
Unless they have like a character creator. But I can't think of like a
so-
popular roguelike that's had a main female character as like the
think you're
sole
right.
character choice.
we don't know a whole lot about it, but I've liked what I've seen, and I'm very like interested in it, and I'm interested to see how they apply a narrative to a roguelike, if they kind of do it in a similar way to Hades, or they just come up with something completely different, which would also be cool. So
Yeah, either way, that'll come out interesting.
Yeah.
And that's also a game that I think we can pretty solidly say is going to come out this year,
yeah,
based
I
on all the
think so.
gameplay they've shown. It looks pretty far along, so I think it's a pretty safe bet, at least for something releasing relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are you ready, Brett, with your fourth pick
Absolutely.
to wow us with your incredible clones and
Oh, it's
swagger?
gonna wow you because it has a 0.7 hype factor, so we're going a lot of faith in this one. I am choosing a fun little indie game you might have seen from any of the. I think it was in the PlayStation trailer for like 1 millisecond, or the PlayStation show, and it was in a couple of the PC shows over the summer as well. And the demo for it just came out, and I think ended a few days ago as well. Anno Mutation M Mutation Unit. No one can pronounce it, but that not only makes it more interesting, but it's a rad looking and rad playing like pixel art cyberpunky like um kind of Metroidvania with really cool combat.
The overworld looked really interesting too last time I saw it.
Yeah, it is a pretty game and it plays really well for that like first little hour that they have given us so far. So I have faith that the rest of the game is going to be just as cool.
Yeah, I'm totally excited for that game when it comes out as well. Very hyped to see what that turns out to be. But now, let me tell you a story about my next game.
Mm.
I've got a pick I think will be very familiar to my first pick. You could say it contains monsters, though it's not quite as full of hunts.
Oh,
Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Now, you might be questioning why I would pick the JRPG that originally released it for 3DS that was very much designed for children and had a rock, paper, scissors battle system. Well, because I've been playing it recently on my phone, and man, is it actually really good. Which is never what I thought I would say about that game. And I have to say, I think 2 might surprise people. I'm hoping it does, because I really want to play it on something that's not my phone, and the Switch is what that's going to be arriving on. So I'm very excited to see what that game is like. And of course, I've got another game that you could say it's my destiny to pick. Something just sitting in the wings, waiting. But I gotta defy it. I gotta pick Disgaea 6 Defiance of Destiny.
You were about to make Alex so mad.
I hope you enjoyed the fake out.
You tease me, you're naughty. Oh.
See, I think you'll notice my running theme for my picks is games that no one else in this group would ever pick.
Yeah, you are safe in that regard.
I mean, I'd love to pick the Witch Queen, but I do not have any confidence in those reviews to be good.
Yeah, I gotta... Disgaea is, for those who don't know, is a tactical RPG series that is pretty long running. It's got 5 mainline entries, and it gets crazier each time. Way more unique, and I'm very excited to see that 6 is making a swap to 3D instead of 2D, which is a bit of a jump in terms of how the old games used to play, but I hope they can pull it off. And I'm very excited to see what comes out of it. I don't think it's going to review particularly well, because I don't think Disgaea ever really gets above like an 80. Because they're
really
super complicated. They're not hard, they're just super complicated, like, grind forever RPGs past a certain point. Like, you can level your characters up to like 9 million, then reset them to 1 to level them up again, so you can break stat caps, and do that as many times as you want.
That's insane.
You can also, of course, in 5, there's a feature where you can call a courtroom into session for you to cheat at the game.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so
you
cool.
can then bribe politicians to your side to get them to allow you to cheat for the next map. It is one of the most fun RPGs I think I've played in a long time. And yeah, I really hope Disgaea 6 follows it up. I don't actually know if this game's coming out this year. That's
Join
the
the
biggest
club.
question right now. I'm pretty sure everything else I've picked will arrive this year, whereas Disgaea 6, maybe not quite so sure. But yeah, we'll see. Brett, what have you got waiting in the wings for us?
Your clones, what do they say?
Give me a second. My clones have to make a decision. So, and by I, of course, I mean we. Have no idea if this game is going to come out this year, but it would be funny if it did. Oh, just show up on the search list, you damn moron.
Wow.
Someone's in a mood today, Brett.
Trying every single different buzzword in the title.
I think someone
okay,
picked this
that's why.
game.
So, All Elite Wrestling is a real thing, but they're also making a game,
Are they all elite?
and they are wrestling.
Oh, it's all there in the title.
I want because it's like it from what it seems like it's going to be from the little trailer that they had. It looks like it's going to be like a cartoonier version of the WWE style games of wrestling, but like with energy VFX coming off of their like finishers and stuff, which is like exactly, so many of the people that work for them are just like total nerds, and Kenny Omega's finisher is called the One Winged Angel, and so I really like that game. Just is going to be a bunch of stupid fun. So yeah, that's there now because I couldn't think of anything else.
All right, that's pretty great. I'm down for all elite wrestling. I also have a weird history with wrestling games where I've played most of them, despite not being into wrestling at all. But I've played quite a lot of WWE and Fire Pro Wrestling. All right, Wyatt, please distract them before I go off about wrestling.
So for anyone that knows me even a little bit, this one is going to come as a surprise. But we here at VHS Assignment Blue are pretty confident in the game Chris Tales.
Oh,
Wyatt, I was wrong about nobody going for a game on my list.
that was gonna be my last one.
What? I don't think I've heard of it. What is this one?
So this is a turn-based RPG that is really interesting because it has turn-based battles that take place in different points in time.
Oh,
Yes.
It's kind of nuts.
Oh, okay.
Now, I think if they really want to play around with that concept, I think there's a lot of really cool story-related stuff, or even like environmental storytelling they could do with something like that. And I saw this in a presentation when we were studying abroad in Montreal, and it made me pretty confident in the game and the developer. So
It's also very pretty.
it is. It is very, very pretty.
Yeah, phenomenal art style.
So just to throw a monkey wrench into everything and
yeah, great. Just mix the pot a little bit. All right, Tess, what you got?
So, I'm going with a game I've never heard of before, but it's called Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ooh,
okay.
And,
that's a pick.
It
That is in fact a choice.
basically a game that it's a game where a bunch of like ghosts and spirits like start haunting Tokyo, and you play as this person that starts manifesting supernatural powers to like try and stop the like the ghosts and stuff. And then he's also like trying to figure out like why this is happening, like why the ghosts are invading the city.
So you're telling me it's
And
Monster Hunter with ghosts?
yeah, I guess.
Is this someone? Is this someone that you would call?
No,
Do,
no,
do
it's
they
not.
do
They
they
do not
bust
bust
the Yaokai?
anything.
Yaokai
No.
busters.
They also it's made from the people that made The Evil Within. So
Oh, okay.
and
I
that's
actually didn't know that.
pretty cool game. So
Huh.
yeah, another horror game. I don't even do this on purpose.
I
I'm just
believe
like-
you.
You say that,
I'm just like,
but
oh, this game sounds kind of cool. But like, I guess I'm just really attracted to horror games. I can't help it. And I'm still very mad at you for taking Returnal away from me. I wanted the female. I wanted the female character.
No
All right,
Hogwarts
Alex.
for you either.
Alex,
All right.
please
I mean,
save
it's
us.
not really a horror, so I guess it wouldn't have fit.
Hey, you never know. Maybe that game will be a horror
I'm still
game.
angry.
The
Anyways.
third floor corridor on the right is strictly out of bounds to those who do not wish to die a very painful death.
Yeah, I love that. And they're like, Hogwarts is the safest place in the world. And then every year they're like, if you do this, you'll die. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh.
that's
Well, I
pretty
mean, they
safe."
usually have students die every year anyway. So
Yeah,
Alrighty.
by this point, Hogwarts
Or
has
get
racked up
cursed.
quite the body count.
Yeah. just a
I
little bit.
am really, really sorry to disappoint everyone here, but I will not be going for another H game.
How
Though
could you?
How
I
dare you.
suppose this game starts with what could be an H, tilted on its side and cut in half. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2.
All right.
All right.
Pretty cool.
I
Just
think it
know
is
that we're all
a.
disappointed in you, as long as you know
I think it is. Well, I don't.
that.
I think it is a relatively safe pick.
Definitely.
I never think that sequels do too much better than the originals as far as scoring goes, but I have a lot of confidence in just Nintendo's ability to handle Zelda, especially in this new format that they got pretty well down the first time.
Yeah, it's a
So yeah,
big question as whether or not it comes out this year. But
yeah.
seeing as it's Zelda's 35th, I believe this year at some point, either this year or early next year.
Wait,
I
it's
would
the
assume
35th?
of yeah, I think it's the 35th anniversary of
Yeah.
Zelda.
I remember the 25th anniversary.
You're
I'm
getting
old.
You're aging.
I'm turning to dust.
No.
Oh God.
Goes poorly.
I have the 25th anniversary Skyward Sword edition.
Yeah, so this year is the
Oh
35th
boy.
of Zelda, so I think people are expecting to see something related to Zelda coming out soon. So be a good year for Breath of the Wild too.
And my my second game pick is
Your final game pick, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dun, dun.
There it is. Also not necessarily an H.
You already
It
broke it.
is
It's
it
fine.
it is somewhat like a T though. If the top line of the T was elongated, got really curvy and put along the side
Oh my
of,
God!
of
What
the
is
of the
it?
T,
What is
it
it, Alex?
Just
it
tell us the game.
it's Diablo 4.
Oh.
Interesting
Oh.
We
choice.
just said,
Oh.
oh,
Maybe you should have waited a little longer to say it.
Also, very I am very wondering if it will be out this year. Because it is
Blizzard's got to put something out this year, right?
yeah.
They haven't put anything out in a
You'd,
long time.
you'd think that, right? And
They're
you'd think
relying
that
on Diablo 4 for people to like them again. It's pretty important for them.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, I could see them delaying it because of that. To be honest, of them
Yep.
if it's not quite in the state they want. But Diablo 4's been playable. Like they've had playable builds available at shows last year, so I would
Oh.
expect.
I didn't hear a
Hearing
single
something
thing
soon.
about it. So
oh dear.
Yeah, I'm super plugged into
Oh
like
boy.
ARPG news, so I probably know way
Oh
too much about Diablo 4.
my.
But
no one has said
Uh,
anything about it though. Interesting.
it's
Yeah,
just not
that,
really. It hasn't been out in a while, or it was all like press release demos.
That's my sixth pick.
Right, solid
Diabolo
lineup.
4. Diabolo.
Of course. All right. What you got for us, Tess? What's your rounding out the end final pick?
the Outlast Trials. Another game that
Okay.
I'm extremely excited about because I love Outlast and Outlast 2.
I did
They're
not
both
know they
amazing.
were coming out with the Outlast
The
Trials.
Outlast Trials. What are the trials? What does this entail? Is this
I don't know, but you can play it by yourself or you can play it with someone else, so it can be solo or co-op, and I think that's pretty cool. Cause
Ace
Outlast is
Attorney
very
themed
scary.
Outlast game?
No, that's not
No.
it. I promise.
You scream objection at a shambling mound of flesh running towards you.
God.
I would
It
play
does
that.
nothing.
You know, when you say it like that, I would play that.
It says the Outlast Trials is a survival horror game you can play by yourself or with other players. You'll have to survive the twisted, sadistics, and bizarre experiments of the Murkoff Corporation alone or in up to a group of 4. I think that's awesome. And I don't have anything else to say. I just love Outlast, and I'm excited for another Outlast game.
Outlast is pretty good.
That's about it.
It is.
All right. Wyatt, what's your rounding out pick?
My final pick was probably my one of my games to show at the Game Awards was It Takes Two.
All right.
Normally, I wouldn't put a game from the studio on here just because they have a bit of a mixed track record in terms of like overall reception. But I kind of get the feeling that this game is going to be a lot more like easily accessible by more people. and just everything I saw about it looked wonderful and super charming, especially the characters and the character design. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful, pretty excited.
All right, I'm pretty hyped for that game too. It's Joseph
I think
Fares.
for both of us, that was like one of our games of the
You
game
guys
we
should
wanted to
play it together.
Dude, it had
I
so much
would-
personality. Oh,
I
it
would
was
so
wonderful.
be down, Ryan.
Yeah.
We do need to play that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for those who
Come
don't
on,
know, the
Gamescast.
person behind the studio making that game, Joseph Fares, is the same person who did Way Out, which is a really cool co-op like prison escape
It's-
game.
Oh,
It's also the same studio that did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was
Yeah.
also excellent.
Like all of
The
those
only
games have been
Xbox
really
arcade
good.
game.
oh, they're on a roll.
Yeah,
yeah.
that studio's on a roll at this point. All right, Brett, you're sitting here. I can't wait to see what you reveal.
The clone's
No one-
final decree.
No one else has said it to the point where I forgot about it, just like the developers did. I just want Elden Ring to come out so bad.
It has
I
to be on
want
there
it.
somewhere. I was waiting for it, and here it is.
Nope. Nope, it's
I
too late.
want it so bad.
It's too late. George R. R. Martin ran out of the studio with all the topless elf pictures. He is gone.
Jeez.
It has to come out. It was supposed to come out this year.
But
really?
I mean, there's so much. But I mean, there's so much lore about the game already made by the fans. But there's just so much of it out there.
It's
Wait,
we
wait,
could
wait.
we
By
could
the
really
fans.
just make an entire other game off of what people have
Before the
made.
actual Elden Ring. comes
Yeah.
out.
Wait, do you mean this year as in 2020 or 2021?
At 2020, it was supposed to come out. I think in like September.
Yeah, I
October
think
or
they
something.
hinted it was going to come
wow.
out, but we never actually got a
Oops.
date.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, I'm sad now.
It was also that was the game that most people thought they would
2020
show
in a nutshell,
something.
Alex.
Everyone thought they would show something at the Game Awards, and they just didn't show. So
And
yeah,
Jeff
They
Keighley
kept
just
hinting at it.
Jeff Keighley just brushed over it like an absolute bastard.
Jeff
I hate
Keighley
his
was
guts
like-
for it.
Jeff
Someone
Keighley was
from-
like, "Look, we don't have Elden Ring to show off, but I'll get a nice pair of shiny shoes, and that'll make up for it."
Vin Diesel again.
I'll give myself a bonus and that'll make up for it.
All
He's
right.
making that man Vin Diesel making his headway into the games industry and doing it with a bang.
Final
Stop.
diesel engine.
All right. At this point, it's the final pick of the draft phase, and I gotta say, Revolver Physical, we're really trying to rise above the competition,
My
striving
God.
to set ourselves apart and to make the world a better place
Ryan.
through the stories of the games that we bring to the table. And I think it's our destiny to add one more game.
Oh,
So let me
no.
tell you a
Oh,
tale.
Ah!
A tale of a little JRPG called Tales of Arise. Now, Tales of Arise has been shown off a few times at a few different shows.
Can
and
someone
it
explain
looks-
why Alex is having a seizure? What's going on?
Because Ryan, because
Ryan
Ryan is
actually-
such a tease, and he loves hinting at things, and it physically hurts me.
He actually used all the words that trigger Alex's sleeper agent abilities.
yeah.
So
Otherwise known as listing out a single word from all the titles of my games
Yeah.
in a row as well.
Yeah.
But Tales of Arise, yeah, it's a part of the long-running Tales franchise. We haven't seen a Tales game in a while at this point, which is interesting
all
because they're
Sonic.
usually like bi-yearly games. And Tales of Arise, from what they showed, has a super striking visual style and looks to have a really, really fun action gameplay loop. Now, the big question is if it's going to come out this year. As always, I have no clue.
Aw.
But I would assume so. I think it's been long enough, and despite COVID, they'll probably be far enough along, because like the game was kind of rumored to come out at some point last year at certain points during the year, and then we didn't see it. So I think that was probably their delay, is pushing it to this year. So I would expect to see this game sometime probably in the fall. Summer or fall is usually a good JRPG block of time. But yeah, that completes my list of Japanese video game fan fiction. So I hope you enjoy Revolver Physical's picks.
What a list.
yeah,
it
really all of them.
So now
Huh.
we're in an interesting phase of our draft. This is the counterpick phase. Now, if you're curious about what this is the phase where we pick a game from someone else's list that we think will either be bad or not release, because if that game is good, we lose points. So, Alex, you now need to counterpick someone else's pick from this group. A game that someone else
I'm
here
going
has
first.
picked. Yeah, it reverses, so you go first. And
Okay,
you get to
wait,
pick
what are we
one
doing?
game that we've done. You're picking a game from someone else's list that you think will be bad.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or not released
I
this
don't
year.
I don't know like anything
Mm,
about any of
mm.
these games.
Please don't hurt me. Only one of my things has a date. Please don't hurt me.
Hello, Brett.
Ah,
How are you doing today?
awful.
Because I am going to
well.
pick Dark World Pictures Anthology House of Ashes for my anti-pick.
Makes
Oh,
sense. Makes
Oof.
sense.
That doesn't surprise me.
So
Yeah.
how is there something that where's the pick for that thingy?
It should be in the
Oh,
same
sorry,
area.
reload. There we
Yeah.
go. Draft, watch list.
I don't know any of
Counterpick, there it is. There we are. Game. Where did it go? Where is it on the list? There it is. The Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes.
What are you
Starring
talking
Kermit the
about?
Frog.
I just don't know about that. Mind maps. I just don't know.
Your life is in my hands. Oh god, I'm gonna crash the
I'm
bus.
chilling.
All right.
This is
Tess, that
terrible.
means it is now your turn to counterpick a game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick which one of my enemies I'm going after.
I gotta say, to be fair, you don't. It's not like if they pick your game, you lose something. It's just if they pick a game that's good, the person picking loses points.
It's entirely psychological.
Yeah, it can only hurt yourself. But hey, if the game you picked is bad, that's on you.
Okay,
Wait,
Okay.
either it's bad or it's not coming out this year.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
okay? Do you specify? Do you have to
Well,
specify
the-
which one it's going to be, or
No,
the
you
not
don't.
coming out this year, that just gets you 0 points, right?
Yeah.
The bad actually nets you it gets you negative points.
Yeah, if a
so
game you
you're-
counterpick gets a score above 70 on Metacritic, you lose points. If it doesn't come out, you don't
Okay.
lose points. If it's bad, you also don't lose points. I'm not sure if you gain them.
So if it
We'll have to
does
see.
come out, do you lose points?
So you don't have to like specify.
If it comes
oh,
out and it's good, you lose points. Yes.
so you don't have to specify
No,
whether it's
you don't.
think
You
it's
just
coming out.
counterpick.
Okay.
Oh, well, because I want to choose a game that I don't think is coming out, but I know if it comes out, it's going to be. So that's kind of scary. It's
Yeah,
kinda
that's
iffy.
my debate right now as well.
Yeah.
I'm invincible.
I'm gonna
Hey,
go for it.
Brett.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm doing Final Fantasy. I
All
don't think it's coming
right.
out.
A safe pick, to be fair.
yeah.
Hey, I would
don't
be
think-
surprised if 16
Yeah.
doesn't come out this year, knowing the
was
team
gonna
behind
do-
it.
I was gonna do all Elite Wrestling just because I hate sports games.
I mean, I do too. So no
Solid
judgments.
logic. Solid
Me
logic.
too, and I picked it.
Oh, I yearn for the days when we can just do gladiatorial combat.
Okay.
Really?
Again, watch that instead of sports.
My next game kind of fits under both categories. I'm questioning whether it comes out, and I'm also questioning whether it's going to be good. Diablo 4. So,
Fair enough.
God damn it.
I don't know
Just
if we
because
can
of,
counterpick the same games. I'm not sure.
Do we
Just-
each get one counterpick?
Yes,
Is
we
that
just
it,
get one
or-
counterpick.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty safe pick, to be honest. Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I would agree that that's probably a safe pick. So, Brett.
Alex, I love you, but what is it doing here? Come on.
I like Diablo 3.
Yeah, we all did.
The many years ago that it came.
The many moons.
Well, the many years it came out, and then the not as many years ago that it became really good.
And also Diablo Immortal happening. That's a bit of a black mark on the Diablo franchise.
I
That was
completely
a-
forgot about that.
See, that was a out of season April Fool's joke.
Yeah, of course. So
Oh,
Brett, what
boy.
do you got sitting in the wings there? What's
Uh,
your thought process?
Well, first of all, thanks for padding for me, guys. But I don't
No
think.
problem. I got you, baby.
I don't think. Sorry to attack your character and everyone you know and love, Alex. But I don't think that that Hogwarts Legacy is going to be coming out this year.
Also fair enough.
I don't think. I think that's a little bit of a reach to assume.
It's okay. It's just my dream that you're crushing.
It's
Wow.
I don't even want to hear that.
All right. So I got some decisions here because my order of priority for picks was first Diablo, then Hogwarts.
Well,
I
then.
think Hogwarts Legacy will probably be good, but I don't think it's going to come out this year. I think that game's going to get delayed. So seeing now, I got some decisions to make here, and there's a few games on my list that I don't think have a chance of being that great. One of which is The Evil Dead. I think The Evil Dead maximum is going to get like a 75 on Metacritic.
You
Why
would be
can't
right.
I only have one? Well, actually, it doesn't hurt me, so actually, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything to you. I think that game isn't going to do bad, but I don't think it's going to be particularly great. Like, I don't think it's the kind of game that's going to review super well. I'm also a little bit worried about Ghostwire Tokyo. Because for people that don't know, Ghostwire Tokyo had some behind-the-scenes issues where one of their creative directors, Ikumi Nakamura, was kind of booted off the team. Not because
director.
Yeah, not because her work
Who's
was bad.
who's also wonderful.
Yeah,
by
she's
the way.
amazing.
Wait, she was the person who showed up at E3, right?
At MIGS.
Oh,
Well, no,
She
she
was
was
also
at
at
E3
E3,
too.
yes.
But we saw a talk with her at Mix as well.
Yeah, I think it's mostly between those two for me, although I could see the Outlast Trials not being amazing.
Can y'all just leave me
Yeah,
alone?
really, you are like.
Like,
I think it's because horror
how-
games just tend to not review well, and I can't do wrong to a wrestling game because they're my spirit animal. So
It's against your religion. You would be bringing shame to your dojo upon doing so.
my dojo of JRPGs would be ashamed.
Listen, he smells what the Rock is cooking.
Disgusting.
I'm
think-
looking at Little Hope doesn't have really bad reviews.
I gotta go with the Outlast Trials. All right.
Draft complete.
So that means we've officially completed the draft. Now, that means we all get to keep track of this over the course of the year and see how we're doing. Of course, there's not going to be like a big penalty or anything if you lose, but there will be bragging rights.
I'm scared.
And if I beat you all with my team of JRPGs,
I will be very, very sad.
He
has the power. He has the power of God and anime on his side.
no. There is one thing. Whoever loses, actually, everyone else is going to buy a plane ticket to wherever they are currently at. And
That's a loss for everyone if you have to.
That's
go on
a loss for
airplane.
everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean,
then
you
you
have to
get
go
to
to an
blame it.
airport.
You get to blame it on that person and be like, "We had to buy these because of you." I hate
I got COVID because of you.
because of you.
all right. So that brings us to the wrap up now of the draft. The draft is finished. We get to see a nice little list of the games releasing soon on our list. But we also get to do a fun thing, which is every show we always have an award to give out. And now that we've all drafted our games, today's award is the best publishing agency award. You cannot vote for your own publishing agency. So we have to vote for a different publishing agency. And you got to pick the one that you just resonate with the most. All right? Which publishing agency here just really calls to you? And so I'll go ahead and start. I got to throw my vote out to Label LA, because those H's really speak to me. Breath of the Wild 2 and Diablo 4. I'm a little iffy on if either of those is going to come out this year, but the other 4 games you've got.
Interesting H's.
I'm feeling strong H power from them.
Thank you.
You could say you've dropped an H bomb on the the draft.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, boy. Are we going in team order again, or is this just whoever?
We're going Brett next because he's next in the list. So
Okay, I am next in the list. I'm feeling the vibrations. I'm feeling the power of the resonation of the single pick that really surprised me and pissed me off at the same time because I wanted to pick Chris Tales. But my friend Wyatt did instead, or should I say Rich
Call me
Evans?
friend.
Or should I
Um,
say Rich Evans?
But yeah, I really legitimately could not care less about any of those other games besides Chris Tales. But you pulled the rug out from under me, so I got to give it to you.
You don't care about God of War Ragnarok? How dare you?
I was hyperbolic, but yes.
How dare you? How dare you be even hyperbolic about God of War Ragnarok?
And
How-
speaking
how
of
even-
Wyatt, it's your turn now, Wyatt. You get to pick something.
Well, I thank you for your kind words, Brett. And I want you to remember how kind those words were, especially when I have to say that a lot of these other games here, I do not care about. If I had to pick,
Which you do.
You do.
Which let me finish my
Do it.
Let me finish my thought. I'm gonna have to go with Label LA, just because it has the highest concentration of games that I'm interested in, which is Horizon and Legend of Zelda, and maybe Hitman. I don't know.
That's wow.
Wow.
That's high concentration.
This is so non-committal. All right, Tess, you are up next in this wonderful battle royale of publishing agencies.
Can I vote for myself?
No.
No.
I don't know. Vote for any of you.
Wow.
Wow.
If
Even I
you
was
don't, I
nicer
think
than
Alex
that.
wins by default.
Oh no.
You can't have Alex win.
I'm gonna vote for Ryan because the rest of you didn't. The rest of you hurt me. Wait, no. One of you, Macro Heart didn't hurt me, but I'm still voting for Ryan anyways.
He counterpicked you. He was one of the people that counterpicked you.
He did counterpick you. I only counterpicked something that was tangential to something that you were interested
Ryan?
in.
Ryan didn't counterpick me.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I counterpicked Outlast
counter-
Trials. To be fair, you were my last choice for
Oh.
counterpick, but
Oh,
everyone
no, I
else
don't
took my
care
other
about that.
counterpicks.
I don't care about that. I mean, you guys took the games I wanted away from me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
boy.
Alex.
I know you wanted All Elite Wrestling so bad.
Yeah,
Alex.
I really, really
I
wanted
know.
that.
Alex,
You were
that
yet
means
another person that really wanted Chris Tales.
you get to vote.
Well, my vote is for my God, just the name, and also like Wyatt said, the concentration of games that I'm interested in. VHS Assignment Blue. Assessment Blue. God.
Assessment.
All right.
VHS Assignment Blue. Yeah, my vote.
I didn't
my
get
vote
any
for them.
votes.
It's okay, Tess.
I
Neither
didn't
did I.
either.
So,
I voted for you.
oh, wait, I did get one from you. Yeah, well,
Wait,
Yeah.
not
yeah.
enough to
Did-
count.
did Macro
Aw.
Heart get a vote?
No.
Macro did not. All right,
Oh.
so I believe it was
Aw.
VHS Assignment Blue and Label LA have 2 votes right now, right?
This is true. There is a tie.
There's a tie. So what that means is who didn't vote for one of those 2? I voted for Label LA. So I
You're
think
gonna make me vote for my enemies?
Tess, you are the tiebreaker here. You get to choose which one of these people you would prefer, which one of these publishing agencies you would prefer to win.
Which one do you hate less?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
pretty
question
much.
at this point.
Pretty much.
Who hurt
I'm
you
gonna go with
less?
VHS because I'm sorry. Harry Potter is one of my favorite things in the world. I will not give you that win. I refuse.
Oh.
You're acting
wow.
against yourself.
Very salty that he took Harry Potter from you.
Salt.
Okay then.
Hey, a vote's a vote. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say no.
All right. So Wyatt, VHS Assignment Blue is our official Double M Radio
Sorry,
Gamescast
loser.
best publishing fake publishing agency in a Games Critic League award.
Good.
Oh my
Good.
God.
Good.
Yes. Jesus.
All right.
You also counterpicked me, so you know what? You're my ultimate enemy.
Oh my lord.
Your taste is not my fault.
So yeah, we've completed
It is
our
your
draft
fault.
now.
Everything is
We
your
did
fault.
it. I'm surprised we made it through that without ripping each other's throats out too badly.
Well,
I don't
we
know.
saved it all until the end.
Yeah, we
Until
did.
Very end.
We were just having some playful things right there, and then I
everything
chose
was
Harry
fine.
Potter, and then everything hit the fan.
See, here's the thing. Everything was fine, and then Wine Mom started drinking a little too much, and then just started throwing shade around.
I would do this. I'm not even drinking, but if I was, it would be 10 times worse.
But if I was, it would be in a
we should
licensed
count
Wine Mom's flask.
If it was,
give
Wine
to all of
Moms
our
would show up at your
employees.
door. All of them.
Oh God!
All the employees.
Oh, God.
all with baseball bats.
Hey, you
dude,
could
thank
say
God
we're
I didn't
all
know that.
we're all guilty of trying to rise
Use our
above the
wine
competition.
glasses. That hurts
I
most.
just. I'm going to turn every one of you to solar ash. There's mine.
If anyone comes and attacks me, it'll be Ragnarok on you all. That's all I'm gonna say.
All
Hey,
right,
but
we gotta
Wyatt, the
stop.
world ends with
We gotta
you. So
stop.
God,
When
what can I just say? What an odd world we all inhabit.
Tess, your attacks on me have left me hollow tonight.
How did you even say right?
You know what? You made me dislike you even more. You ruined it. I was getting a little bit of sympathy, but then you ruined it.
all right. So we've officially completed our draft. It's not over yet. We're not done. We're almost done. We're close to done. But we completed our draft. We will be revisiting this at some point during the year, likely around halfway through, and then at the end of the year, to see who
Wherever
won.
will be.
Who's
When
won
do
the
we
draft?
add our next games?
You can add them any point after next week. Is what I'm gonna say the official start date for being able to bid on games and add them. You get $100 to bid on games.
On every game? Wait,
Yeah,
you
you
said
can-
we could have up to 12, right?
You can have up to 13.
13.
Oh wow.
We have 6 games right now, and you can bid on them with your budget you have. The bids are secret. You can bid until you have 13 games. You can't add more after that point. So even if you have budget remaining, you can't still add more games. You still need to have a spot open, so it's often a good decision to at least leave a few of those open and towards the end of the year so you can add anything that other people may not have added by that point. And it's also, be careful with your ads, because if a game scores badly, you lose points. So don't just add random things. But I'll say starting after next week's podcast is the official start date for when we can start bidding on things. I want to give people a little bit of time to understand the system before we go crazy on doing that. I'll make sure to get an explanation out of how to do that to you guys before then. But yeah, that'll be when we start adding things, and then we will revisit this over the course of the year, basically whenever something major comes out that is on our list. So now, when games get reviews, we have actual things to talk about. We can say that, oh man, VHS Assignment Blue doing really poorly, you know? Turns out It Takes Two was just awful.
Turns out Chris Tales sucked.
Tess, are there any other games that you had your eyes on that I can bid on before you get to them?
They're in an untitled notepad that you will never see.
Ooh.
So yeah, I will just say don't make any bids until after next week's podcast, so I can make sure to give everyone instructions on how to do that, so no one is at an unfair starting point for that, so that way we don't go crazy before then. And the way bid processing works for this is it will update scores, I believe, the Saturday of every week at like 8 p.m. is when scores get updated and bids go through. So everything's done on like a weekly rolling basis. So that way it prevents cheating.
Right before the podcast starts. Oh.
I mean, Saturdays, not
Saturday.
Yeah. So we'll still have, there's like a full day in that time span.
No, I know, but not right, but you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah. So we do have some podcast news. Guess what's gonna start next week? Our 2020 Game of the Year weird show thing.
Really sold it there, Ryan.
Yeah, little show thing. All right, great. Before we get DMC to take down
It's too perfect.
Oh.
It's too close to the original tune.
Yeah, our tunes were
no.
too good. 2-1 point.
I forgot about copyright. Oh God.
We're fine. So look forward to that. It'll be a little more informal than a lot, and most of it is going to be our personal things. Though we will be doing something fun that I'm here to get feedback on from all of you right now because I haven't pitched it to anyone yet because I wanted to get it live. So I think the plan right now for how we're going to do a Game of the Year, a Double M Radio Gamescast Game of the Year award, is next week we will present the award, or present our nominees for Game of the Year. So each of us gets a nominee. And what will happen is between that week and the next week, we will take time to decide which one we want to give the actual Game of the Year award to. And we will get like 5 minutes or so during that podcast episode to pitch our Game of the Year award.
Ooh.
Which will be not like a Game of the Year as in it's the best Game of the Year, but it's a Game of the Year as in the most interesting game that was like pitched to us or overall done. So that way everyone still has their personal Game of the Year. So like if Wyatt picks Hades as his Game of the Year, that's still his Game of the Year.
Me? I would never pick Hades.
Oh, neither would I. Of
Ridiculous.
course not.
That doesn't sound like me at all.
I mean, come on, who would ever do that?
But yeah, that likely
trash
won't be
video game.
quite called Game of the Year because I think that's not totally what that award is meant to be. But we'll be giving
Game
out like
of
the
the Spear.
Gamescast most interesting Game of the Year, something like that. Something a little more flavorful than just Game of the Year because I think that's gonna those deliberations be a little too hard of trying to figure out what we actually want to label as the best Game of the Year aside from Hades. So. So yeah, next time I'm gonna come
That
with
was
a
very
big,
sneaky, Ryan.
of course, I'm gonna have a list of awards for us to go through, and we will all have our own individual games. Some of them I will tell you about beforehand, some of them I won't, and it'll be fun seeing who can come up with certain things on the spot. But we will have a fun little mini game awards type show, especially because we're rounding out the time of the year where there's not really any game related announcements because everyone is on break for the holidays. So yeah, that's why this week we didn't really talk about a lot of news. The one major news article we have is that Epic Games has a new headquarters in a mall in, where was it, Brett?
North Carolina, and it's not. Correction, it's not in a mall. It is the mall.
Yeah, it is the mall, which is amazing. I love it so much. That's about all the news we really have for this
Excuse
week.
me.
Yeah.
I do have, because I
Okay.
always have to add one more bit of news.
Yep.
The Atari VCS is here, and apparently,
Oh no!
it isn't
It's knocking at your door.
It isn't a complete trash dumpster fire,
Oh no!
but I also heard it's just weird, and
It's basically just a PC. It's like a mid-range, not even mid-range, a pretty poor PC.
It's three things really. It's one of those like Nintendo mini classics or whatever those are called. It's partially that. It's partially its own system, just its own system that'll see new games coming out on it, and it's also just a Windows PC, all for what, like $400, something like that.
Yeah, which is, to be fair, not that bad of a deal.
Well, on paper, when you look at what it's offering, it's not a bad deal. But how useful is it as a PC for $400?
I mean, if you want to use it as an
What
indie box,
kind
there
of-
is a $200 version available that would certainly be able to play a lot of indie games. So you could
Right.
get a $200 indie box.
How
I've
useful
heard
is the
that-
KFC console?
For what I've heard, it's like it
Very.
as just like a classic like games box thing is actually pretty good, and then the other two parts of it are weird, and we'll just have to see how that goes. But I'm just kind of, I mean, two things. I'm just kind of amazed that it's here and it's not a complete scam, and I'm
Yeah.
also amazed that it's not getting nearly as bad as reception as I thought. Like I was thought this is going to be Ouya level of just like absolute trash, but it's not. It seems like it's actually starting on a much better foot than the Ouya is. So, props to Atari, I guess. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but
Wow.
props for exceeding our kind of very, very low expectations. So,
Very cool.
very, very cool.
Epic gamer moment, Atari.
Yeah.
Very cool, Brett. That's very, very cool.
Very, very cool.
Hey, maybe it'll be a fun console to look at if you can't get a next gen console like a lot of people right
Yeah.
now. The
Someone-
Atari VCS
someone-
is an option.
And hey, we now have another platform that doesn't run Cyberpunk very well on it. So there you go. Because it is a regular PC that you can boot Windows on, so you can, in theory, play Cyberpunk 2077. I've seen it. You can play Cyberpunk 2077 on an Atari VCS, and that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. So, anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. That's my news. We're good now.
Yeah. All right, great. Which means we're now to the point of the show where we do shoutouts. We're ready to end. We filled up an hour and 20 minutes with deliberations on the drafting, which was a good amount of time. I'm glad it took that long. Although next year, if we do this again, I think I might add some more games to the draft list, so that way we can draft more games and have to really start digging deep into the trash.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. But yeah, it was a good first initial round. So look forward to seeing where this ends up at the end of the year. But yeah, who's got a shout out ready to show off? To do.
Shout out. I got a shout out.
All right.
Shout out to Immortals Phoenix Rising, because I finished that game yesterday and I was really just I was happy with like the way it ended. I was happy with the last like section of the game, the last area you go to. The final boss fight was a lot of fun. And just the game in general. It's a really good game, and I think it just kind of came out when people were like, "Okay, it's out," and they didn't really talk about it much afterwards. And I hope that hope it gets more attention and more people play it and more people talk about it. So, yeah.
All right. I got a shout out, I think, that is pretty close to my heart. I've had a nice little Xbox One controller for the past, like, since the Xbox One came out. I just had a spare white Xbox One controller that I was using for all of my PC games. And it finally died this week. Just yesterday, I was playing some Monster Hunter.
Oh.
And I flicked the stick. I was doing my running, heavy bow gunning, and the cap just falls off of the stick. And I thought it was maybe a thing of just like the stick was missing the cap, but no, it was like the top of the stick just came off. So it was just like a little jabby stick now. So that controller has been retired, but it served me well for like the 5 years I've had it.
Wow.
And it has been the only controller I've basically used on my computer for a long time. So I'm sad to see it go.
Rest in pieces.
Yep. All right. Who's got a next shout out? Who's ready?
I am.
Brett, do it.
I finished Wild Arms 3 and it sucked.
Aww.
I'm never gonna touch it ever again. I'm gonna take the disc that it is on, which is definitely an official disc that I did not
Of course.
burn the game onto.
Very cool. Very cool.
And I'm going to
we love
burn it
being
for
legal.
real outside.
Oh.
That bad?
Wow.
Well, this was the game that started with like the character select was like all the guys
Super
jumping out of
cool.
the train. Yeah, like a
Very
shootout.
cool. Very cool.
Very cool. And the first 2/3 of the game was like, dude, I am so into it. I'm shooting goblins with my cowboy revolvers. Hell yeah. And then they just started they just ham-fisted the most save the world plot in ever, and it just like it was the last boss was 10 fights and it wasn't even hard. It was really boring.
Ooh.
The last boss was a plant.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a wombo combo of real rough right there.
Don't play it.
But would you recommend the first 2/3?
I would recommend the first 2/3 if you want to play. If you want to experience the game where you feel like it should have ended the first time, which it did, then do that, and then don't play the rest of it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Great game, very cool, very cool.
Very cool, Brett. Very cool.
All right, Tess and Alex, which one of you's ready?
I can go.
You spoke up, so do it.
All right. Shout out to Spider-Man Miles Morales. Remember, Spider-Man games don't mean a thing if they ain't got that swang.
You are so right.
It's got the swang.
It's got the swang.
Where's the lie? Where's the line?
Are
All right.
are PAL versions of the game called Kilometers Morales? Just saying because they don't have miles.
Oh, I thought I had the worst
How are you with that
jokes.
pun? Alex, I'm disappointed in you.
All right, Tess, bring us home. What you got?
Shout out to Revolver Physical and Macro Hard for not stealing my games.
Of course. It's our
Thank
pleasure
you,
having
and
only
you're
picked
welcome.
weird
Which game did
JRPGs.
VHS Blue take from you? I'm curious.
Returnal.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You know, just that game that she was talking about for a long time.
Yeah,
as I
really.
hit the
Just
all
the
right,
one
bring-
that just the one that I screamed at when you said Returnal.
Oh, boo-hoo, Tess, you can't have your Harry
Oh.
Potter puppet pals.
All right, before this devolves into utter chaos, I'm going to say we're ending the episode. As always, podcast is live on Sunday nights and airs on every major podcast platform and YouTube. And as of course, this time there is a video portion for most of the episode. It's totally not necessary, as you can probably tell if you've been listening. But it does let you see all of our picks as we're making them. And you can check that out if you want to see the video on YouTube, or you can listen to it on your podcast platform of choice. And of course, we'll be back next week with our award show thing, fun, weird podcast while we still wait for news to start coming back in after the holidays. So, with that, have a great day, everybody, and we hope to see you back next time.
Goodbye. You better call the next episode that, by the way.
What?
Just like the slew of ums and, and
Oh.
random deliberation trying to make a name of the game of the year, but not exactly game of the year.